What's up guys, welcome back to Fancy Goldfish Fanatics. Today is episode 2 of how to set up our brand new aquarium or brand new pond in this example. So make sure you stay tuned to find out more. Hey Fanatics family, welcome back. As always, check out those links in the description. Today, as I said, we are going to be shooting part 2 of how to set up your brand new aquarium. In the first episode, I filled up the outdoor pond or the outdoor tank, and I showed you how it's going to run. I showed you the filters, etc, etc. Now in today's episode, the pond has actually been running for 48 hours, so I'm going to be doing some water tests, show you what to look for, what things you can do for your new aquarium, and basically how to cycle your tank or aquarium up until it's ready to add some fish. So let's get on to it right now.
A few moments later.
First things first, as you know, in the first episode we filled up the tank and that water has been in there now for 48 hours. I haven't added any chemicals, any treatments, etc. because eventually all of this water is going to be changed out anyway, so it won't be harmful to the fish. Within 24 to 48 hours, all of the chlorine would have gassed off anyway, so we haven't got any living fish in there, so I don't really see the need to treat. You can use a dechlorinator, and if you have it on hand, then go for it and use it. But in these episodes, I'm going to be showing you how I cycle my tanks and my aquariums in the way that suits me, and there are multiple different ways to do it. So maybe you won't agree with the ways I do it, and you can always do it a different way, but for the purposes of this video, I'm going to show you how I do it for my setups. So the water has now been in for 48 hours. We need to test that just to see where we're going with it, and I also want to log it onto the videos so you guys can watch through all the videos and see how those water tests change from each video until we're fully mature and cycled and ready to add some fish. So right now I need to go outside and collect some pond water, and then we can give that a test.
One eternity later.
I've got some pond water just in this mug here, and now we're going to go and carry out some tests on the table. As this is a new setup, I expect to potentially see a little bit of ammonia, no nitrite, and I'm not going to test for nitrates just yet because we've got quite a while to go for the cycle, and that is not too important. We will likely test that in the next episode. So I'm going to head over to the table now and we can get those tests done. So you can see we've got 2 test kits here. One is the Salifer ammonia test kit and the other one is the nitrite test kit by Salifer. These are generally used on marine tanks, but I find them really good and they are really good quality test kit, so I use these generally. You can also use the API master test kit, and I would generally steer away from test strips, especially when cycling your aquarium for the first time. So first up, we're going to do the ammonia test kit. All we need to do is collect a 2 ml sample of water from our pond or tank and add it to the test vial. Then we add 0.5 of the solution within the bottle, stir for 30 seconds, and then we can add the remaining 0.5 ml of the solution, and then we'll let it sit for around 3 minutes. For the nitrite test kit, we need to collect 2 ml of water as well, and then we need to add a small spoonful of the powder mix, stir it for around 30 seconds, and then we will leave that to stand for 3 minutes. After this, we will then be able to see the results. As I said, I'm not expecting to see any nitrite, but we hopefully should see a bit of ammonia, which will help kickstart that cycle. Alternatively, you can use ammonia products such as Dr. Tim's One and Only to help boost that ammonia within the water level, and then you will constantly feed that ammonia into the water until your bacteria colony is large enough. But for this project and this series, we will not be ghost feeding or dosing any ammonia. So now we can see the tests have been going on for 3 minutes and we can check the vials. First up, let's check the ammonia. You can see there's a tinge in the water. And if I get the ammonia test card, which is really grubby because it has been out in the shed, but you can clearly see there is some ammonia present within the water, which is really good and essential for starting our cycle. Now onto the nitrite test. You can see the water is super clear. There is no pink or purple tinge to it, which means that there is no nitrite present and the filter bacteria are currently not converting that ammonia into nitrite. I expect within 5 to 9 days we will start to see some nitrite buildup, even with the absence of any filter bacteria being added to the pond. As predicted, we had a little bit of ammonia, no nitrite. You can see I only did the nitrite and ammonia test because I said I'm not too worried about the nitrates because that is a further step in the cycle, and once we start to see some nitrite appear, then the nitrates can be tested as well, because we won't be getting any of those because the bacteria currently aren't present to break down that ammonia into nitrite and then into nitrate. A lot of products on the market, like bacterias you can get in a bottle, you can use to try and help speed up the cycle, but as the weather is still a little bit cold and I'm not in any rush, I personally don't add any bacterias or any chemical products to help speed up the cycle, but that is just my personal preference really. Also, you would have noticed in the last video on this series that the aquarium filters weren't completely full, and now I'm going to be also adding some extra media, and I will show you what media I will be adding. In this Tupperware here, we've got a few different medias, and these were just medias I had lying around. You can see in the bottom of the filters I have the ceramic blocks, and then lots of space, and then I had the filter foams. Now the ceramic blocks can potentially clog up quite easily and they're a little bit harder to clean, hence why I put them at the bottom of the filter as the water percolates through the top of the filter all the way down to the bottom, and I didn't want those getting too dirty, and that is why I put them at the bottom. I've got a couple of different media types here just because I had them lying around. So I've got some ceramic rings, and these ones are really porous. They're not like those really hard, dense ones you can get. These are really good quality ones. And then I've also got some Biohome Mini Ultimate just here. And I've got around 1.5 to 2 kilos of this. And then I've got around 500 grams to a kilo of ceramic rings. So I'm gonna head out to the pond and put those in now. And then I will be back here for the rest of the video. Now I am back from the pond and the filters are now full of media, so we've got the filter foams on top which will catch any mechanical waste. Then that will go down into the biological section where we've got the Biohome, the ceramic rings, and then those ceramic blocks. And that media is going to provide a great haven for lots of filter bacteria to live in and survive off, so our fish will have lovely pristine water. That's it for this episode. As we saw, we had a little bit of ammonia, no nitrite, and we hadn't tested the nitrates yet. In the next episode, I'm hopefully going to do that on day 5. We will do another water test. We will show you the pond as well to see if we've got any algae starting to form potentially. Generally, algae starts to come within that 1 to 2 to 3 week range, and it can just depend on your setup. As the setup is outside, that will likely come a little bit sooner than if your fish tank was indoors. And then we will, on that day 5, we will test that water to see if we have any nitrites starting to form. Now, on a very clean indoor aquarium, this method may take a lot longer, so potentially you could add a little bit of fish food to the tank, which will provide a waste source so the bacteria can start to colonize. And you can also try and add one of the many bacteria colonies that are on the market that you can get in a bottle. As this pond is outside, the media I have used has already been used, so there's quite a bit of organic waste on that and within that from old bacteria where it's dried out. And the pond has been previously used where there was lots of algae that had dried onto the sides. I'm sure there's quite a bit of organic waste and the system isn't fully clean, so that cycle may come around a little bit faster. and the bacteria may come a little bit quicker than if you are using a bare tank inside, not open to the elements. That is just my prediction, and we will see how it goes. And that is also why I'm not going to be adding any food or ghost feeding your aquarium to help push that cycle on so it comes on quicker. This is probably going to be around a 4-week process, I estimate, before we get any fish. But we've started now, so the goldfish are coming soon. And also, I must update that I have chosen a few fish as well. So we've got those reserved, so it's definitely happening. Thank you all for watching. As always, if you've got any questions, drop them down below and I will try and help you. If you've got any questions on cycling or different methods, then feel free to drop those down below and I can try and help you work out which is best to cycle your filter and a few other options potentially. As always, thank you all for watching. Remember to keep those water changes up and happy fish keeping.